right, welcome to the season premiere of At the Rim. This is a show that gets you caught up on anything, everything happening around the NBA. Hello again, everybody. I'm Matt Robinson. Coming up on this edition of the program, we'll give you the league leaders currently in the association. Also, I'll give you my thoughts on who I think which teams have a chance to win it all this year. And plus, we pay tribute to two superstars that made a mark in the association. But as always, I like to start off with talking about my top three storylines. I like to start off talking about the NBA's declining television ratings. For almost close to a decade now, and especially within the last several years, the NBA has definitely endured and has continued to endure growing pains, specifically in their television ratings. The last several years, and especially this season, the NBA has continued to suffer from terrible TV ratings. The NBA has been beat out by the NFL. They've even been beat out by Major League Baseball, especially this World Series that just passed. And no one is watching the product. I mean, you have a lot of young talent. You've got teams that have played well for the most part this year, but the TV ratings have continued to decline. And a lot of people of various media outlets, people have been outspoken as to the reasons why no one has been watching the NBA, especially this season. I'll give you several reasons why I feel the NBA's TV ratings have continued to decline, specifically this season. Number one, lack of versatility. Back in the day, I'm not showing my age, but I remember back in the day, especially during the 80s, 90s, and even up until much of the 2000s and even into the 2010s, you had a versatility in play. Everybody did not shoot three-pointers. Now, you're seeing every team, every player shooting three-pointers, even if the three-point shot is not in their skill set to shoot a long-range jumper. Back in the day, you had so much versatility in the NBA. There was so much versatility in the play, it made it worth watching. And every player back in the day was not a three-point shooter. Every player back in the day was not an enforcer or an effective rebounder or couldn't play expert defense. But that was the beauty of watching the NBA. That's what made the NBA fantastic. The play was fantastic, and it had versatility. Now today, the play is not fantastic. Everybody's shooting three-pointers, just lack of creativity. It was always fun to watch a player either go to the hole and attempt a slam dunk or even attempt a layup over a player much taller. That's what made fans go crazy. That's what put people on the edge of their seats. Now it's like everybody's shooting a three-pointer. You shoot a three, you shoot a three. We all shoot three-pointers. And it's just not working, at least in my opinion, as to one of the reasons why the NBA is continuing to have declining TV ratings. So, number one, there's clearly a lack of versatility in the play. Number two, the players don't want to play. I firmly believe that Commissioner Silver, to get rid of the 60, at least the 60-game minimum, I believe that's what it is, in order for players to qualify for season awards. They have to get rid of that game minimum and make all players play 82 games. With the load management, it seems as though the players have taken way too much advantage of the load management. It's ridiculous. It's a bunch of nonsense. And that's why a lot of, let's say, for instance, if you're living, even if you're living in New Orleans or if you're living in Atlanta or, God forbid, you're living in New York or L.A. or Philadelphia or your major NBA cities where you're paying for parking or if you're paying for public transportation or even if you're paying for, concessions. And we're not just talking about big families, even a couple or even even single people, or you just you're a single person by yourself, and you want to watch your favorite NBA players. You want to watch Joel Embiid. Guess what? Joel says he's not playing tonight. What's the reason? He doesn't feel like it. Or Zion Williamson, he's not playing tonight. Why? He has rest. He's just resting. Kawhi Leonard, he's resting. Paul George, not playing tonight. So there's no guarantees that you pay all of this money for the tickets and concessions and for travel just to get to the game, and then you find out your favorite players are not playing just because they're load managing and they're saving themselves. No, I think what you would have less injuries if players played, either they played the whole 82-game season or they played the majority of the season. No excuse, man. We want to see our favorite players. People work hard to take part in this experience. They want to see it. They want to see their favorite players, and I think they're deserving of this. There are a lot of players that have been paid and continue to get paid these ridiculous contracts, and you owe it to the fans. You owe it to the journalists. You owe it to the podcasters. You owe it to just the whole association, and that's just not right, man. This load management has been a problem, and the players need to get out there and play. If not the whole 82-game season, they at least need to play the majority of the season. And that's what, when you have big-name players, the NFL, you're going to see Patrick Mahomes. You're going to see Josh Allen. You're going to see Lamar Jackson. You're going to see Saquon Barkley and company. And in the NBA, we don't always get to see LeBron James. I mean, we see LeBron most of the time, even he's 40 now, but we see him and Steph Curry most of the time. But we don't always get to see Joel Embiid. We don't always get to see Zion Williamson. There are times we don't always get to see a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or a Nikola Jokic. But nevertheless, the load management has got to go. It's just ridiculous. The NBA in-season tournament, my third reason for the NBA's declining TV ratings. The NBA in-season tournament, never liked it, thought it was a joke, thought it was crazy, and I tuned into it, but it didn't show in the ratings. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks on winning the NBA Cup. I stand corrected. It's no longer called the in-season tournament. It's called the NBA Cup. But it wasn't much of anything, even though it aired prime time. Well, the semifinals and the finals aired in prime time on ABC, but it really didn't make much of a difference because no one tuned into it. The ratings were just bad, and no one really cares about an NBA Cup or an in-season tournament. So that's my third reason for why the NBA is declining of ratings, the continuing reason for the NBA's declining television ratings. Fourth reason, the play-in tournament. You have an 82-game season for a reason, to battle it out on who will get playoff spots number 1 through 8. If players played either the 82-game season or they played the majority of the season, there would be no need for a play-in tournament. That's why you have 82 games to battle it out. Again, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I get it, but again, similar to the NBA Cup, the in-season tournament, the play-in tournament, it's just a joke, and it's not healthy. It's just not good, man. And when you don't have players playing on a regular basis, and then it just doesn't. It makes up for the lack of competitiveness, and you can't do that, man. So again, the TV ratings continuing to decline in the NBA. You have load management, the NBA Cup or the in-season tournament. You also have the play-in tournament. It's just terrible. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't have things like that. The NBA used to be fantastic. And then also another reason, as I stated earlier, the lack of versatility. The lack of versatility in the playing styles. Everybody's not meant to shoot three-pointers. Everybody has unique playing styles, but we haven't seen that lately in the NBA, especially this year with the continuing decline in the TV ratings. And I'll give you my last reason. Players are not staying in college enough. The one-and-done rule has got to go. Players are becoming really good in Europe because they're doing it the right way, playing a certain amount of years overseas, a certain amount of years for their respective basketball clubs, but they're also taking time off. Here in the States, in America, it's either one and done. You play 1 year of college, one year of college basketball, and then you're done. You enter the NBA draft. Then on top of that, you're playing AAU all year long, and then, they're not learning the proper skill set. They're learning offense, but they're not necessarily learning defense. They're not learning all of the fundamentals that would really make them skilled. They say today's NBA is skilled. I won't say today's NBA is skilled. I think today's NBA is more athletic, but I won't say they're skilled. Athletic and skilled are not the same. You can't compare the two. They're just not. And I think also, too, you can tell back in the day the level of competitiveness in the NBA was so much more different because players played at least 3 years of college basketball. They played 4 years of college basketball. Some played 5, 6 years of college basketball. Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, just to name a few, Christian Laettner. You saw the crop of talent that were ready for the NBA. Shaquille O'Neal played some years of college basketball, and you saw the development, even though, again, was not a great free throw shooter. However, still was a force to be reckoned with. Tim Duncan, he played more than 4 years of college basketball. And you could just see the one-and-done rule is just, I don't know. I mean, you can see that the NBA talent is just, they're athletic, but they're not skilled. And you're seeing a lack of defense, a lack of hustle. You're not seeing players in the crashing boards, getting rebounds, and it's just not good. And it's being reflected. It's a reflection of the current product that's on television. And that's just my thoughts on the NBA's declining television ratings. So let's stay with television and media and so on and so forth. My next storyline is going to be the new NBA media rights deal. So the new media rights deal will go into effect next season. That's the 2025-2026 season. NBC and its family of networks, they're already airing commercials for the NBA's long-awaited return to NBC. And NBC, they've waited a long time for this. The last time that NBA basketball aired on that network was 2002 with the NBA Finals. So what's going to happen is this. So NBC, along with its streaming service, Peacock, both are owned by NBC Universal. They will be airing NBA basketball, and also too, ESPN and ABC. They will stay with as a broadcast partner of the NBA. They will carry the NBA Finals. They will also carry games as well. And Amazon Prime will get into the mix as well. As that I mentioned earlier, NBC, along with their streaming service Peacock, they will air games, and Amazon Prime Video, they will be airing games as well. Now, what does this mean for TNT's Inside the NBA Studio show? Well, they will be moving to ESPN and ABC starting next year as part of a licensing deal. Originally, when the whole negotiations were going down to renegotiate the contract for TNT to get the NBA rejected TNT's matching rights in favor of Amazon's package, claiming that TNT was unable to match the terms of that contract. But after there was some negotiations and there was some paperwork that TNT in fact were able to match Amazon's deal to carry NBA coverage. So as a part of that whole charade and all of the court filings that had happened. It was a real sticky situation that went down. So in layman's terms, as a result of that, TNT's Inside the NBA studio show will move to ESPN and ABC starting next year for the 2025-2026 season as part of a licensing agreement. So Inside the NBA, that show will continue to be produced out of Atlanta. It will just be licensed to ESPN and ABC. So as a result of that, as a part of the new media rights deal that will kick in next year. So this is how it works. So as I stated earlier, Inside the NBA, the studio show will continue to be produced out of Atlanta, and it will be licensed to ESPN and ABC starting next year. Amazon Prime Video, they will carry games on Friday nights, select Saturday afternoons, and they will have Thursday night doubleheaders, which will begin at the conclusion of Prime Video's Thursday night football package. So Prime Video will also take over the NBA League Pass package from Warner Brothers Discovery. So again, for those of you that have NBA League Pass, Prime Video will take over that starting next year. So again, Prime Video, they will have games on Friday nights. They will have select Saturday afternoons, Thursday night doubleheaders. And Prime Video will also take over the NBA League Pass package from Warner Brothers Discovery or TNT. In addition, Prime Video will get at least one game on Black Friday, and they'll get the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the championship game of the NBA Cup. So Prime Video, the sports, live sports in general, continue to make their transition a full force into the streaming platforms. We saw what the NFL did with Netflix, and it broke record numbers what the NFL did on Christmas Day with Netflix. But again, Prime Video starting next year, they'll have NBA coverage on Friday nights, select Saturday afternoons, and also they'll have Thursday night doubleheaders. And they'll take over the NBA League Pass package from Warner Brothers Discovery, which is the company that owns TNT. And Prime Video will also get a game on Black Friday, and they'll get the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the championship game of the NBA Cup. All right, ESPN and ABC, they will keep the NBA Finals. Not only will they keep the NBA Finals, but they'll also carry games during the regular season. That means that more than 20 games will air on ABC, mainly on Saturday nights and Sunday afternoons. ESPN will continue to have their games on Wednesday nights and with some Friday games as well. So as far as the Friday games are concerned, ESPN will split that with Prime Video. And also, of course, ABC and ESPN, they'll have 5 games on Christmas Day, and, they'll have the national coverage of the final day of the regular season. And during the playoffs, ESPN and ABC will have 18 games in the first 2 rounds each year, and they'll have one of the 2 conference finals in all but 1 year of the agreement. So that's how it will work. So if you saw what, again, LeBron said, no disrespect to the NFL, but Christmas Day, it belongs to the NBA, and it still belongs to Christmas still belongs to the NBA for the time being, but the NFL is slowly catching up. But nevertheless, ESPN and ABC continue to have the NBA Finals. They'll also continue to carry games on select Friday games, and they'll also have Wednesday nights as well, and they'll continue to have the Christmas Day package. And then also, too, as I stated earlier, they'll have 18 games in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs each year, and they'll also have one of the 2 conference final series in all but 1 year. NBC, so this is what a lot of people have waited for, and myself included. NBC will have up to 100 regular season games, and once the NFL season is over with, they will have a Sunday night game. And then it will air games on Tuesdays throughout the regular season. So NBC will have the Sunday night game once the NFL is over with, and they will air games on Tuesdays throughout the regular season. and a Monday night doubleheader will be exclusively on Peacock. Now, NBC will also have the rights to the All-Star Game and All-Star Saturday Night. During the playoffs, NBC and or Peacock will have up to 28 games for the first 2 rounds. At least half of those games will be on NBC. So NBC and Amazon will carry one of the 2 conference finals in 6 of the 11 years of the contract. NBC will have a conference final in 2026, 2027, followed by Amazon the next year. So NBC and Amazon will rotate conference finals in the 6 of the 11 years of the contract. So again, NBC will carry at least up to 100 regular season games. They'll have a Sunday night game once the NFL season is over with, and then they will air games on Tuesdays throughout the regular season. And then there'll be a Monday night doubleheader exclusively on Peacock. NBC will also have the rights to the All-Star Game and All-Star Saturday Night. And again, NBC and Peacock will rotate the first 2 playoff rounds of the NBA playoffs, and then NBC and Prime Video will carry one of the 2 conference finals in 6 of the 11 years of the contract. So it's a lot to digest, and it's going to be even more to digest as we get closer to next NBA season. And also, too, an announcement was made that Taylor Rooks will be the studio host for Prime Video's NBA coverage. So Taylor Rooks is becoming a rising star in the sports media world and sports broadcasting. So again, Taylor Rooks will be the studio host for Amazon Prime Video's NBA coverage. She'll be the host of their studio show. And so that takes care of my top 3 storylines. Oh, and one last storyline, teams that have a chance. So the season is underway. The first half of the season is still underway, but the All-Star Game, the All-Star voting has officially begun. So go to the website, go to the NBA's website, and make sure that you cast your ballot for who you would like to see in this year's All-Star Game in San Francisco. But with the teams that have a chance to win it, we know the Boston Celtics, they're the defending champions. They're hungry. They're playing at a high level right now, just clicking on all cylinders right now. Al Horford playing very well. Jason Tatum playing at a high level. Jaylen Brown, before suffering the injury, playing at a high level. You know that he's going to be about his business when he comes back from injury as well. Kristaps Porzingis, a.k.a. KP, playing at a high level since returning from injury. Derek White, before he suffered an injury, playing at a high level as well. You know he's always going to bring it when he comes back from his injury as well. But Boston, they're not to be denied. Joe Mazzulla, again, a candidate for Coach of the Year so far in this early part of the year. How about the Cleveland Cavaliers? No one is really covering. A lot of the popular media outlets aren't showing the Cleveland Cavaliers a lot of love. But Donovan Mitchell, an MVP candidate this early part of the year. Jared Allen's playing at a high level. Evan Mobley's playing very well. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are so underrated in what they bring to the table, especially defensively and also on the rebounding side as well. Darius Garland playing at a high level. You can't sleep on Darius as well. Max Strus certainly bringing the long-distance shooting, the long-range shooting as well. And, again, the Cavaliers definitely deserve strong consideration as well. And, you got to give it up for the Cavs as well. I know people are paying attention to Boston, and rightfully so. But Cleveland, they're no nonsense this year. Cleveland, this first half of the year, has looked very good. Also, the New York Knicks have looked very good as well. Jalen Brunson, an MVP candidate. Karl Anthony Towns, currently the best shooting big man in the league. Definitely the Knicks, the Knicks definitely a lot of eyes and a lot of ears are paying attention to the team in New York. Mikal Bridges is playing at a high level as well. And Josh Hart's playing well as well. And also pay attention to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that whole team is playing at a high level. Chet Holmgren should become Chet Holmgren. Look out for him as well. I know the injury. He sustained that terrible injury last year. He's making his way back. And, Jalen Williams has played at a high level as well. Lou Dort. Oklahoma City will not be denied neither. And there's just some of the teams that you need to watch out for that have a chance to win it all this year. We know Boston's Boston. Boston's the top dog, right? But Cleveland is definitely playing at a high level. Also the New York Knicks. Don't sleep on Oklahoma City. Golden State, yes, Steph Curry. We don't know how many more years we're going to get left of prime Steph Curry. We saw him and LeBron have another masterpiece with the Lakers and the Warriors on Christmas Day. Golden State, certainly a team to watch out for as well. Minnesota, up and down this year. We'll see if they can get going this in the second half of the year. I know that Towns trade to New York really kind of hurt them. We'll see what Julius Randle brings to the table in terms of that. We know Anthony Edwards is destined to be, they're trying to make him the face of the league, the face of the NBA. We'll see how that all plays out. How about the Miami Heat, man? Jimmy Butler, Jimmy wanting a trade, demanding a trade out of Miami. We'll see what Pat Riley and management does going forward as we continue in the first half of the year and get closer to the All-Star break. But the Orlando Magic, Orlando's a very young team. Paolo Banchero coming back from injury. You've got Jalen Suggs. You've also got Mo Wagner, Jonathan Isaac. Orlando is a sleeper team. Also the Pacers as well, the Indiana Pacers. They're a team that's certainly a team that's going to be a sleeper as well, a team definitely need to watch out for. But, man, those are just some of the teams that have a chance to knock it out the park and have a chance to win it all this year, man. But the Boston Celtics, man, are just so good this year, man. And they're turning heads so far in this first half of the NBA season. All right, so that takes care of my top three storylines. And we lost a couple of heavy hitters in the world of basketball. Dikembe Mutombo. When I think of Dikembe Mutombo, certainly somebody that was animated, someone that had a great personality. I mean, basketball-wise, one of the greatest defenders in the history of the NBA. A four-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Also played in 8 NBA All-Stars. Played in 8 NBA All-Star games. Also, had some great seasons playing for the Denver Nuggets. Also the Atlanta Hawks. The Philadelphia 76ers. Also played for the New Jersey Nets. Also played for the New York Knicks and the Houston Rockets. But what made Mutombo great, not just in terms of his basketball, but his humanitarian efforts, constantly doing humanitarian work in his homeland of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, formerly known as Zaire. And the man just did so much, not just on the basketball side, but most importantly with his humanitarian work and giving back to his native Africa, specifically the Democratic Republic of Congo. And Dikembe passed away at the young age of 58 and definitely gone way too soon, but definitely his contributions were felt. And again, one of the greatest defensive players of all time. And certainly when he blocked the shot, wagged his finger, said, no, 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 no. And certainly Dikembe definitely made a lot of offensive players pay a price for driving to the basket. And certainly the gentleman, at 7'2", played his college ball at Georgetown, and certainly somebody was definitely a force to be reckoned with. But his humanitarian work and just his gentle nature was definitely something that people paid attention to, and definitely nobody will ever forget about Mount Mutombo. Again, Dikembe Mutombo passing away far too soon at the age of 58. And also we lost another heavy hitter in the world of basketball, Gus Williams. Gus Williams played point guard for the Golden State Warriors, the Seattle Supersonics, the Washington Bullets, and the Atlanta Hawks. But Williams is best remembered for his years playing for the Seattle Supersonics, where he won an NBA championship in 1979. Also during his time with the Supersonics, went to two NBA All-Star, was a member of two NBA All-Star teams. Also, during his time with the Supersonics, he won the NBA Comeback Player of the Year award. And again, Gus Williams was somebody that was highly respected during his time as a member of the Seattle Supersonics and also a member of the Seattle community. And again, Williams passed away very young, only at the age of 71. And again, Gus Williams was somebody that was a part of the fabric of not just the Supersonics, but also just a part of the Seattle basketball community. Again, Gus Williams passing away at the age of 71. All right, so before we get on out of here, I just want to give you some of the individual league leaders currently in the association. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Oklahoma City Thunder is currently the league leader in the NBA in points per game. He's the leading scorer, averaging 31 points per game. Domantas Sabonis from the Sacramento Kings is currently the league leader in rebounds. He's averaging 14 rebounds per game. In assists, Trae Young from the Atlanta Hawks. He's averaging close to 12 assists per game. Dyson Daniels, also from the Atlanta Hawks. He's averaging 3 steals a game. Victor Wembanyama. Victor currently leading the league in blocks. He's averaging 4 a game. Also, we have in minutes per game, Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks. He's averaging 39 minutes per game. Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz. He's shooting 72% from the field. Stephen Curry shooting 93% from the free throw line. Domantas Sabonis from the Sacramento Kings. Not only is he leading the league currently in rebounds, he's also leading the league in three-point percentage. He's shooting 47%. And that's it. Those are your current league leaders in the association. So the NBA season, the first half of the year is underway, and you still have time. Don't forget to make your vote count. NBA All-Star voting is underway. The All-Star game is rapidly approaching in about late February in San Francisco. Should be an interesting one indeed, and I'll get more into detail about the All-Star voting and the format that's recently changed. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it, but hey, I'll get into that on the next show. Till next time, everybody, I'm Ed Robinson saying so long, you take care, and we'll talk to you again next time. Have a good one. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.